Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, we are Lizzie and Joe, two adventurers from the Netherlands with a big dream, driving the legendary Pan-American Highway.
That's right, 14 countries, over 50,000 kilometers and a year of exploring the Americas. It's the journey of a lifetime, and we are taking you along for the ride.
In our first video, we introduced ourselves and shared why we are embarking on this incredible adventure. If you haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out.
And in our second video, we talked about why it's never too late to chase your dreams, no matter your age or where you're starting from. That's been such a core message for us, and the response has been amazing.
Today, we're shifting gears and diving into the practical side of things. How do you even begin to prepare for a trip this big?
First steps we've taken, the challenges we are facing, and some tips for anyone dreaming of a big adventure. Let's get started!
Every big adventure starts with a dream. For us, that dream is driving the Pan-American Highway, a journey spanning 2 continents, over 14 countries and more than 50,000 kilometers.
But to make a dream like this happen, you need a plan. And that's exactly where we are now, figuring out what we need and how to make it work while staying flexible.
The first thing we are doing is asking ourselves some big questions to shape this trip. For example,
why do we want to do this trip?
And what countries and places do we want to visit?
How much time do we want to spend in each region?
How can we stay safe on the road?
We've realized that understanding these questions is key. For example, deciding how long we will travel and where we want to go help us prioritize and plan our route.
We're starting with the basics, a rough plan of our route. Alaska will be our starting point and Argentina will be the goal. In between, we are marking must-see places like Machu Picchu and Mexico City.
But we are also staying flexible. We know that no matter how much we plan, things on the road will change, whether it's due to safety, weather, or even recommendations from fellow travelers.
To help us prepare, we are using tools like the Overland app. It's an amazing resource with real-time tips from other travelers. Everything from campsites to warnings about road conditions.
One of the biggest lessons we've already learned is that safety can vary greatly by region. That's why we are preparing to adjust our route as we go.
We plan to rely on the Overland app and tips from other travelers to make smart decisions. For example, we've read that certain border crossings in Central America are better avoided at night, while others are perfectly fine.
And here's another tip. Always have a backup plan. If a road is closed or you don't feel comfortable in a certain area, it's okay to reroute. This trip is as much about adapting as it is about exploring.
At this stage, we're focused on turning our dream into something tangible. It's exciting to plan, but we also know it won't go exactly as expected.
The best adventures happen when you leave room for the unexpected. By planning ahead but staying flexible, we are setting ourselves up for success.
Turning your dream into a plan is exciting, but it's just the beginning. The best part is leaving room for surprises and letting the road shape your experience.
And remember, no plan is perfect. What matters is being open, curious, and ready for whatever comes your way.
Once you have a rough idea of your route, the next step is figuring out how much this trip will cost. For us, that means breaking everything down into categories and setting realistic expectations.
And let's be honest, seeing those numbers can be intimidating at first, but budgeting is key to turning a dream into reality, especially for a trip this big.
We started by dividing the cost into categories, so it helps us see where the money is going and where we might be able to save.
Vehicle. This includes buying the car and any modification or repairs.
Fuel, based on how far we are traveling and average fuel prices along the route.
Food and accommodation, a mix of camping, cooking and occasional hotel stays.
Visas and paperwork, border fees, vehicle permits and insurance.
Fun budget, for activities like tours, national parks and adventures.
Emergency funds, for unexpected costs like breakdowns or medical emergencies.
To create a realistic budget, we started researching average cost for each category. Here's how we calculated our estimates.
Let's break it down step by step.
The car is our biggest expense because it's not just transportation, it's also our home. We've researched reliable 4x4s like the Toyota Land Cruiser or Volkswagen Transporter camper van.
Second-hand vehicles in good condition range from 20,000 to 25,000 euros. We prefer to buy a car that is already fully equipped for an overland journey such as the Pan American Highway. Additionally, we want to purchase the car on one of the American continents to avoid the shipping costs. In a future video, we will discuss what kind of vehicle we are looking for.
For fuel, we calculated based on driving 50,000 kilometers. Our chosen vehicle averages 8 to 10 kilometers per liter, so we'll need about 6,000 liters.
With fuel prices averaging 1.20 euros per liter across the Americas, that comes to 7,200 euros.
Food is another big category. We are budgeting 12 euros per day for groceries and 8 euros per day for eating out, especially to try local cuisine. That's 20 euro per day for 2 people or 7,300 euros for the year.
We'll mostly be camping, which costs around 10 euros per night for paid campsites. Also, we want to go wild camping as much as possible. We're setting aside a budget for 60 nights in hostels or budget hotels, which average 30 euro per night.
For visas and paperwork, we've looked up the costs for border crossings and vehicle permits. For example, a tourist visa for Peru is 90 euro per person and a temporary vehicle import permit ranges from 20 to 60 euro per country.
We don't want to miss out on amazing experience like guided hikes or visiting national parks. We are budgeting 2,000 euros for fun activities.
For emergencies like medical issues or car breakdowns, we are setting aside 3,000 euros. It's better to be over-prepared than caught off guard.
Even while traveling, we all have costs back home, like health insurance and our house. This comes to around 1,000 euros per month, or 20,000 for the
12,000 for a year. So this is our rough budget for the Pan American Highway. What do you think? Does this seem realistic or are we missing something?
Let us know in the comments. We'll dive deeper into these numbers in another video, where we also share how we plan to fund this adventure and adjust our spending if needed.
Once you've got a dream and a budget in place, the next step is researching your route. For us, that means exploring the iconic Pan American Highway from Alaska to Argentina.
Planning a route isn't just about connecting the dots on a map. It's about understanding the landscapes, cultures, and challenges along the way.
A common misconception is that you can plan every detail of your route ahead of time. While it's tempting to create the perfect plan, real life often gets in the way.
Exactly. Roads might be closed, weather conditions could change, or you might hear about an amazing place you didn't even know existed. Flexibility is key.
We started by looking up key stops and must-see destinations. For example, Denali National Park in Alaska, Machu Picchu in Peru, and Patagonia in Argentina.
Then we use travel apps, YouTube channel, and blogs from other overlanders to identify routes, campsites, and border crossing. One app we highly recommend is the Overland app.
No matter how much research you do, some things will always be unpredictable. For example, we've read that certain roads in the Andes can be impassable during the rainy season.
That's why we are mapping out both a primary route and several backup options. If something unexpected happens, like bad weather or safety concerns, we'll have alternatives already.
Several factors are shaping our routes, including safety, budget, and timing. For example, we are prioritizing safer border crossing based on traveler reviews.
We are also considering the best season for each region. For instance, we want to visit Patagonia during the summer months, between November and February, when the weather is more manageable.
One of the best ways to refine your route is by learning from others. We've joined online communities where overlanders share their tips, like hidden campsites or must-see detours.
For example, we've added lesser-known stops, like the Uni salt fields in Bolivia and the San Blas Islands in Panama, thanks to recommendations from other travelers.
So, What do you think? Do you have any must-see recommendations for the Pan America or tips for navigating challenging regions?
We'd love to hear your suggestions in the comments. Who knows? Your advice might help us to shape our journey.
Researching your route is exciting, but it's important to stay flexible and open to new possibilities. After all, the best adventures often come from unexpected detours.
And remember, planning isn't just about logistics, it's all about dreaming. Every mark on this map brings us closer to making this trip a reality.
Now that we've got our route roughly planned out, it's time to focus on one of the biggest decisions of this trip: choosing the right vehicle.
The car is more than just transportation for us. It's our home, our storage space, and our lifeline for the entire journey.
The Pan America includes everything from paved highways to remote dirt roads. That means we need a vehicle that can handle a variety of terrains and weather conditions.
But it's not just about durability. We also want a car that's comfortable to live in for a year. Think sleeping space, storage for our gear, and space for basic cooking equipment.
We've been looking at vehicles like the Toyota Land Cruiser and Volkswagen Transporter camper van. These are popular choices for overlanders because they're reliable and relatively easy to repair in most countries.
We are prioritizing vehicles that have a good balance between size and fuel efficiency. While a larger camper might be more comfortable, smaller 4x4s are better for rough terrain and fuel costs.
Once we find the right vehicle, hopefully one which is ready to go, and otherwise we'll need to make some modification to turn it into our home on wheels. Here's what we are planning.
Camping setup, a fixed bed in the back or a rooftop tent.
Off-road tires to handle rough terrain.
Solar panels for charging devices and lights.
Extra fuel and water tanks for remote areas.
If possible, we would like to have a shower and a toilet solution. Buying and modifying a vehicle is a significant part of our budget. That's why we're carefully weighing our options.
For example, we might skip more expensive modifications like built-in kitchen setups and stick to portable equipment to save money.
The most important thing is that the vehicle is reliable and safe. After all, it's the heart of our adventure.
What do you think? Have you ever done a road trip like this? What kind of vehicle would you recommend for a trip like the Pan America?
Let us know in the comments. Your advice could help us make the right decision.
Choosing the right vehicle is one of the biggest decisions for our trip. It's not just about what we want, it's about what will keep us safe, comfortable, and ready for anything.
And with your help, we are confident we'll find a perfect car for our Pan American adventure.
When you're planning something as big as driving the Pan America, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. There's so much to think about: budget, the route, the vehicle, and more.
That's why we are focusing on the small, actionable steps we can take right now to make this dream a reality. It's about breaking the journey down into manageable pieces.
Trying to tackle everything at once is a recipe for burnout. By focusing on the first steps, we can build momentum and start crossing things off our list.
It's also a great way to stay motivated. Every small win, like deciding on a vehicle or finalizing part of the route, brings us closer to hitting the road.
Here are the first steps we are tackling right now. Budget.
We've outlined our estimated cost, but now we're fine-tuning the numbers and prioritizing expenses.
Vehicle.
We're actively researching vehicles, visiting dealerships, looking at second-hand options that fit our needs.
Preparing the routes.
We are finalizing the key stops and alternative routes based on weather, safety, and recommendations from other travelers.
Documents and paperwork.
We are making a list of all the paperwork we will need, like visas, vehicle permits, and international insurance.
Saving.
We are cutting unnecessary expenses at home and setting up a dedicated travel fund to reach our saving goals.
Of course, taking the first steps isn't always easy. For us, one of the biggest challenges is saving enough money while still handling our fixed costs back home.
Another challenge is deciding on the vehicle. It's such a big investment and we want to make sure we get it right.
And then there's the uncertainty. No matter how much we plan, we know things will come up that we can't control. but that's part of the adventure.
What about you? Have you ever planned a big adventure? Where the first step you took to get started?
Or, if you are dreaming of your own trip, what's holding you back? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments.
Focusing on the first steps helps us stay grounded and motivated. Every small win brings us closer to making this dream a reality.
And remember, it's not about having everything figured out at once. Just start with one step and the rest will follow.
Now that we've shared the first steps in planning our Pan-American adventure, it's time to bring it all together and look ahead to what's next.
We also want to hear from you. Your feedback, advice and ideas could make all the difference in how we approach the next stage of this journey.
This adventure is so much bigger than just the two of us. We want this to be a community-driven journey, where your input shapes what we do next.
For example, we love to hear your thoughts on some of the challenges we are facing right now, like choosing the right vehicle or finalizing our budget.
Drop your thoughts in the comments or send us a message. We will feature some of your advice in future videos.
If you've enjoyed following our journey so far, make sure to subscribe to our channel. We are just getting started and there's so much more to come.
And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll never miss an update. Every like, comment and share helps us take us one step closer to making this dream a reality.
In our next video, we will dive deeper into one of the biggest questions we've been getting. How do we plan to fund this adventure?
We will share our creative strategies, from saving money at home to exploring sponsorship opportunities and side hustles on the road.
Plus, we are working on a video all about our route research, highlighting the must-see places and some hidden gems we are most excited about.
If there's one thing we hope to take you away from this video, it's that no dream is too big. Start small, take it one step at a time and keep moving forward.
Whether your dream is traveling the world, starting a new project or something else entirely, it's all about taking that first step. We are proof that you don't need all the answers to get started.
Thank you so much for watching and being part of our journey. Your support means the world to us and we can't wait to keep sharing this video with you.
Remember, the journey starts now and we are so excited to have you along for the ride. See you in the next video.
Keep dreaming, keep driving, find your destination.